And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us.
Hello and welcome back to What I Think I Know with your host, Dan Brigantino. Yeah, that was a strange fella in that opening clip, huh? Kind of an older clip that's sort of just making the rounds again. I thought I'd share it with you. The sentiment that guy lays out is not gone. Only stronger nowadays, I'd suspect. Yeah, very interesting. It makes you think, doesn't it? Here's another interesting thing. That's a terrifying picture, isn't it? I'm very sorry that I made you look at that without warning you. I should have said, hey, beware, you'll be scarred for life after this. Anyway, I think we all know who that was. Fondly enough, people are trying to say that that was Donald Trump in that picture. But unless Donald Trump put on a Bill Clinton costume and then took that picture, yeah, no, that was definitely not Trump. Interesting. Anyway, let's dig in to a little bit of news. Of course, we all know the elections happened this week, and for Republicans, they went pretty poorly. Apparently, only, or might have even been less than 50% of Republicans in California voted. Of course, that's where I live, so that's what I'm looking at first, kind of thing. But yeah, apparently less than 50% of Republicans even voted. Had they voted, I'm not sure it would have tipped the scale, unfortunately, but I think it's crazy that people don't get out to vote to at least kind of show the numbers that we have. Now, until they get rid of the illegals voting and all that, we're going to be screwed forever anyway. But coming up, Reform California has a petition coming out. We're collecting signatures now for a addition to not next year's ballot. Would it be next year's? Maybe it is next year's. I'm getting confused. But anyway, for the next ballot, we have a voter ID initiative going on right now to make sure that you are an American citizen, or at least a Californian citizen, voting in our elections. So, to touch on it, kind of three main losses, a lot of losses across the board, but three main ones. Of course, California's Prop 50, which technically we won't know until like December because of how this like banana republic we call a country runs. How, with all the technology, all the advancements in the world, how has voting been the only thing to take a nosedive into the past? Why does it take months and months for us to count the votes when it used to be the day of? That's ridiculous. That needs to be fixed. Get rid of mail-in voting and vote in person. Sure, when we weren't allowed to leave our houses, mail-in voting was kind of maybe almost necessary, but I still disagree with that. The fact that it would have been necessary, I don't think it would have been. That is ridiculous. I voted in person in 2020. Nothing stopped me. But we had some other failures there, not just California. We also had Virginia, which their new attorney general is a fella who wants his opponent's children to die in their mother's arms so that maybe they can see his side of things better. I mean, if that's not a call to violence and a misuse of the First Amendment, I don't know what is. I think he should be jailed for that. If there are people being jailed for, like, saying the N-word, he should be in jail too. Because that's a call for violence, in my opinion. He said many more things than just that, but that's kind of the main thing. Anyway, he's the Attorney General. He's in charge of all law enforcement in Virginia now. Great. And then, of course, we now have a Muslim, socialist, communist, Marxist is probably the best describer of him in charge of our greatest city. And that would be Zoran Mamdani. Terrifying. ISIS congratulated him. That should kind of tell you all you really need to know. Granted, that's fairly nuanced right there. That doesn't really mean anything in reality. What does mean something is that, and this is just kind of coming out, the background research has not been done on this yet, but it's possible that Obama, the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, and I'm forgetting his first name, but Mamdani, were all together just a few weeks ago, having a little meeting together. So that might push the Muslim side of things a little bit further. I personally think the Muslims are using Marxism and the liberal side of life to gain control. So I think he is more Marxist on the outside, because that's what the liberals want. And then one day when they're too involved, he'll go, oh, actually, I'm absolutely a Muslim, and you're all going to stop your driving if you're a woman. You need to put a sheet over your face. No more tablecloths for the tables. Now we put them on the women. Yeah, that's coming. Just wait for it. A couple things about Mommy's Johnny. He, in his acceptance speech, there's like 3 poignant things I want to touch on. Here's the first right here.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties.
Yeah, all the Ethiopian taxi drivers and the Zimbabwe alligator wrestlers, and of course, all the aunties who are not actually your aunt, even though you said my aunt. But aunties is also just a general term. I know, like Hawaiians, auntie, uncle kind of thing. Yeah, sure. Italians, people who are not related to me I've got tons of aunts and uncles that are not blood related to me. However, I would not say my aunt when referring to that person. I would say my family friend who's basically my aunt. Anyway, regardless of all of that crap, you notice who he didn't mention there? Americans. He didn't mention Americans. He's not for Americans, he's for the immigrants. You could have at least just thrown in, also all the American hardworking families. Like, that's all he had to add. Crazy. So then there's this next bit here, which has been talked about a little bit already.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
Yeah, the Ronald Reagan famously and hilariously said what was it, 9? Was that 9 words? Yeah, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And Mamdani just happens to essentially parrot that, but seriously and in the wrong direction. There's no problem too big for the government to help you with, and there's no problem too small for the government to help you with. That should scare the shit out of every true American right there. The government's here, and they're ready to help us. Oh, lovely. Now the final bit on Mom Johnny is this. Now, I will preface this by saying I've got no problem with the style of music. I actually think this song could be something pleasant. However, at the election of an American lawmaker, or leader, really, Is this proper?
Thank you.
Do we really need that in America? I mean, we've got plenty of that around the country, but in like our state institutions, um, that's a little wacky. This is a Christian country. This is an English-speaking country. We need all of our people to understand each other. That's the only way a citizenry can be a citizenry. Otherwise, we're just a bunch of strangers who kind of live around each other. The same people, the same background, the same religion, the same language. That's the only way to do it. There is no other option. Like I said, otherwise we're just a bunch of strangers packed into a bus, basically. Have you ever looked around on the bus, public transportation, and gone, yeah, these are my people? No, not so much. Yeah, just bass backwards, I tell you. Now, a little bit about Prop 50. A recent poll was done asking California voters, do you think the independent redistricting committee should be in charge of drawing the state lines? Not the state lines, the district lines. You get it. Anyway, 92% of California voters said yes. It should not be done by the politicians. It should be done by the independent redistricting committee. And still somehow it passed. Unfortunately, these voters are a little bit backwards as well. I mentioned that. I can't even remember what I was talking about, but somebody else was bass-ackwards. Well, these guys are bass-ackwards too. 92% of people think that we should use the independent redistricting committee, except 63% of them, or whatever it was, 67%, voted to get rid of it for now. For now, we are very, very familiar with the government gaining power. We're not so familiar with the government giving up power. So we'll see how that goes. 2030. Jeez Louise, man. Yeah, we'll wait until after the next presidential election and all that. Anywho, really fun stuff. Here is a little clip of me doing some man on the street kind of thing. I've mentioned it before. Every Saturday for several months, there's been a group who gathers on a bridge on Highway 101 on my way to work. And they've got No Kings, Yes on Prop 50. They're all geriatric. They're all older. In fact, part of this clip shows you that. They do 2 hours on the bridge because any longer than that and they couldn't stand it. Pretty funny. But anyway, they've been doing this every Saturday, and then every Sunday I see Caltrans come through cleaning it up. I will say that was only like the first 2 or 3 weeks they were doing it that I saw Caltrans. And then the other day when I went by there, they had a different strategy, I noticed. So I pulled up. I was waiting for a buddy. I've got a buddy of mine who's been dying to get on the show here, and he wants it to be like at a protest kind of thing. He is Filipino-American, born in the Philippines, but naturalized and 100% American citizen. He swore in and everything, Freaking awesome. He's a terrific fella. I love the guy to death. And so I drove past this bridge. It was like November 3rd or something, like the day before the election. So I drove under the bridge, saw them, and turned around, called him, and I was sitting there waiting, and I saw all the people tearing down their stuff. So unfortunately, we didn't catch the whole group of like 20, 25 people, but we did catch a few, and we got to talk to them. And they had nothing but like talking points. Here it is.
How's it going? It's over already?
Yeah. We decided they were in the past they were becoming too much of an endurance test.
Gotcha.
So we do it typically 2 hours. Tomorrow we're doing Crazy Horse.
Okay, what time?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
And that
gotcha.
catches all the people heading north. It's a really good presentation that way. So,
I think we'll be at work, unfortunately.
I hear you.
Well, can I ask you guys a couple questions? Because I don't really understand the whole Prop 50 thing entirely.
Okay.
Could you just tell me kind of what it's about?
Prop 50?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my understanding it came in response to the redistricting that was done out of cycle in Texas.
Gotcha.
Right. And so what's his name? Abbott.
Yeah,
Governor Abbott.
Oh,
what he
Greg
did-
Abbott.
Yeah, they pushed through redistricting in Texas to give them, I think, netting
Five more seats.
Right?
Gotcha.
And so our representative, Zoe Lofgren, led the charge on a response to redistrict, and that's what Prop 50 is. It was the way it was written was, we'll do nothing if Texas does nothing. If Texas does this, we'll redistrict in a fashion. I'm sorry.
We'll redistrict in response.
In response. That's right.
Gotcha.
And yeah, to gain us back another 5, not 15, not 20, not 25, 5, right?
Well, I will say there's only 9 Republican seats right now.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's only
Well,
9. So if they take 5, that would
that's
would
right.
leave
Well, it's mostly,
Republicans entirely voiceless in this
Yeah.
state. They did vote almost 40% Republican last time.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, that's what Prop 50 is about. You seem to have the understanding of how the current legislature is. So anyway, that's what this is about. And Prop 50 is my understanding is that we lapse back to the regular
after the
redistricting
next
process.
census,
That's
we
right.
go back with the commission.
So,
But
Gotcha.
it's really to stop what Trump's doing.
yeah.
Because
right.
he'll take control of the House, and that means he can be an autocrat and a demagogue.
So you're thinking we'll just take control of California to show him that he can't take control?
Well, it's more like let's level the playing field nationwide and try to offset that.
But isn't that kind of where we'd be taking over California? So it would be more like 2 odds, wouldn't it? Like two fighting factions. If
I don't follow. Sorry.
so, if they're taking control to make it all red, kind of thing, and we're taking control to make it all blue, wouldn't that be kind of like building 2 separate armies instead of trying to cut the difference and have everybody just do it properly and stop the gerrymandering entirely?
Yeah, that would be a great goal
Right.
for the future, but that's not what's happening in this.
Well, we have it
moment.
pretty good right now. We got the Independent Redistricting Committee,
Right. Okay.
which is, of course, independent.
let's
And those
see.
guys are actually disagreeing
We went
with
into this
Prop
discussion
50.
where you saying you don't know about Prop 50. It appears you know.
Well, I
Okay,
wanted to know your
Yeah.
side of it.
Okay. But the point is that you're right. Had Texas and like-minded states not done this thing, the need for Prop 50 would not be there.
It would be a moot point.
As Governor Newsom said, it's time to fight fire with fire. And the point
But doesn't
was,
that seem a little dishonest?
No, in my opinion,
That
it
we're
doesn't.
saying no kings, but we're making Newsom the
Wait a
king?
minute, the difference is the people are voting on this.
That's right.
In Texas, it was just the legislature themselves. They didn't ask the Texas people to vote on what they were doing. But in California, we're being very transparent about it.
Yeah.
So that's
So
the
just
difference.
transparency is good enough to take control of the state?
We're not controlling the state.
We're not controlling
What
the
we're
state.
doing
It
is
will
we're-
be if
no,
there's only
no.
4 representatives
I
for
wouldn't
40% of the state.
Well, that's the
Out of
that's the vote-
53?
That's the voters' will as far as how they're who they're selecting as their representatives. So
So if we want to vote in a king, we can.
No, we're not voting
not
anything.
consistent with our Constitution. No, we can't.
So then we should probably help California be more diverse in voting instead of... If there's 40% of California that says we like the Republicans, shouldn't there be 40% representation in Congress?
And that's in essence,
yeah.
yeah, probably. But the fact is that it's not happening.
But
in
as
all
California,
the
why don't we be the bigger ones?
We are the bigger ones.
But
Like I just
we're seizing control.
No, I just pointed out the people are voting on this
That's right.
act,
It's
on this proposition.
before the-
Whereas in all the other red states, they're just doing it. Could be
So
against
that's
the
what
red
I'm saying. So
people.
we can vote to take full control
Well, I
but
think
but
that's
we
more fair.
should vote to give everybody
you have an
the
opinion,
voice.
and I respect that you have an
I
opinion.
gotta go.
It's different from ours. Okay, but thanks so much.
Well,
Okay.
no problem. Thanks for taking control of the state.
And most importantly, I think what they said there about, well, Texas is being sleazy about it or something. California, at least, is being transparent about it. And the people are voting. So this is a great definition of the difference between a constitutional republic and a democracy. A democracy is majority rules. If 51% of the people vote to kill all of the whatever, well, let's take this. Let's go from the liberal side. If they vote to kill all white people, then so be it. Great. If they vote to take control of a state or country, great. It's the people who voted for it. No problem. 51% decide that the rest have to die. In a constitutional republic, we have checks and balances that stop that sort of thing, which are being swooped away with this. Yeah, what is it was 6.7% representation we now have in California. Here's a picture of the kind of like campaign symbol or whatever of the Independent Redistricting Committee 10 years ago. It was, "We draw the line. We draw the lines." It was California saying, "We're drawing the line on drawing lines. There is no more gerrymandering in this state. It's done. It's over with. Kaput." But apparently it's not done. It's not over with because somebody else is winning. So now we're going to do whatever we want to do to take back power. And kind of my point, you'll see I was sort of mentioning the equality, the diversity sort of thing, the like equal protection under the law kind of thing. If you go to court now in California, you are no longer, as a Republican, you're not in a jury of your peers. I actually personally had a like my moment in court, whatever you want to call it, and I ended up not going to trial because I know that in my home city, whatever, in the court system that I was going to be involved with, the majority of people are Mexican. I think 80 something percent. It's not 80%. It's more than 80% are Mexican. And the vast majority of Mexicans are Democrat out here in California, at least. In other places, they're not so much. But out here, they certainly are. And the very small community of my actual peers, farmers and things like that, they get the jury notice in the mail and they just throw it away. It's kind of a sad thing. I don't think they should be doing it. But that's what happens. So when I was going through my little court thing, I had to do the math essentially and say, well, all I need is 1 out of 7, but the odds that 1 out of 7 didn't just throw their summons in the trash, it's very, very low. Most of the time, it's full of people who don't have a job and things like that, because people who do have jobs have more important things to be doing. It's a very sad state of affairs for a state that is registered is 24% Republican, which means about 16% voted independents voted Republican. I think there's only there's probably about a quarter of the state who is independent. So a little more than half of the independents voted Republican, with the Republicans, of course. And then some of those people didn't even vote at all anyway. But it's an unfortunate thing. We've lost our voice. We may regain it someday. If you are in the least bit interested in having a fair state or a fair election in this state, pay attention to the voting ID stuff, because that's kind of our last hope. Now, regarding immigration, EBT recipients, of which I believe the statistic is more than 50%. I think 54% of EBT recipients are not Americans. Here's a video of, she claims to be Haitian, living in America.
Thank you very much. So this is my home, and this is mess because it's an efficiency. So therefore, the kids need activity to be, activitations.
It's not very safe, and
that's safe. This is mushroom. This is mushroom. This is cereal. You know why I have the box of cereal out here? And in the backyard there's a playground, and there's sun in the backyard. And I am a broke mom, single mom, in which I can already. Where do the right there, right there. The bed is on the floor.
The bed is dirty.
The bed is fine.
So the bed is dirty.
Please come check the bed. Please come check the bed.
Okay.
Please come check the bed. Please bring your tools, because you just called me dirty and you just called me a horrible mother. Please get inside my home. Please get inside my home. You just called me dirty and a horrible mother on a Monday morning or Saturday, whatever it is.
Where do they shower?
They shower over here because I'm Haitian and we don't shower the way you shower. Please hold yourself. So therefore, we shower right there outside underneath the sun. And we have pool days and outside days and toys in the water. And then there's a trampoline in the back. And what we do, army training. No, we don't use the shower. The shower is just for presentation. Because I'm Haitian and I shower outside. With a box of food in which they lie. That's why they play, because they're children. And I can also sleep outside as well. Due to the fact that this is my backyard in which I pay rent for.
Okay, I'm going to step outside and call my
Go ahead
supervisor.
Go ahead. Step outside, call your supervisor, and I'll get my video ready again.
Are the children not in daycare?
No, they're not in daycare. They're with me in my efficiency home with a playground in the backyard and a box of food outside, and where we shower outside. Please don't call your supervisor. Make it quick. I don't have all day, nor do I have all morning. Let me close the door for you. Please close the gate if you can. I can do that for you guys.
She's Haitian. That's why the house is dirty, disgusting, with mushrooms growing on the bed. She's Haitian. It's okay. She can just sleep outside. The shower is just for presentations. That's all. This is the kind of thing. People say white people don't have a culture. If our culture is anything, at least it's showering regularly. In a freaking shower. Not hosing off out back. But she's got two beautiful baby boys. I think they're boys. They look like boys. Anyway, she's got two beautiful babies, and they do not deserve to live in squalor like that. That just cannot happen in this country. And I'm not saying we need to pay for her to be assisted. I'm saying let's take the children into CPS. Let's take the children into America. They can be American citizens. They're young enough to have not been brainwashed by their mother. And let's send the mother away. Separating the children, sure, perhaps. But the children have a higher likelihood of striving for greatness and succeeding without their mother involved. Because if their mother is teaching them that, they're done for. That's a bummer. It should be a very straightforward thing. It kind of reminds me, there's this video that was going around I saw, involving a fellow removing a ladder from a dock. And then this lady went off, she threw their board game into the water. She goes and points right in the face of some woman, and she's just screaming and hollering. Apparently her sister had been swimming there and was not able to get out of the water without this ladder. The dock was the dock was pretty high above water. It was a solid two feet floating off the water. So I can understand how a child would struggle to get out of that. However, as a normal human adult, I think it's as simple as that. You reach down, you pull the kid up. A kid weighs no more than a big kid, 8th grader, most 8th graders 100, 120, maybe I personally was like 90 pounds when I was an 8th grader. Yeah, you can pull kids out of the water pretty easily, but also you could swim somewhere else. You could perhaps find further down the river a beach, maybe, that you could swim at, somewhere without a dock that you have to climb up to, or maybe you bring your own ladder. That could work. Now, in kind of the reality of the situation, this fella, now this is conjecture right here. This I don't know for sure, but from everything I could find, the guy owns the dock, and these people were trespassing on his dock. And it was his personal ladder that he didn't have out there every day. He only had it out there when the kids would go swimming. So we put the dock down, this other family shows up, they start using the dock, and I was a kid, I know how kids are, so I'm kind of assuming the child of this lady was, picking at the rubber on the dock or something like that. That's something I used to do, you peel the paint off the wall kind of thing. You don't think about it as a kid, but as an adult you're thinking, you gotta repaint this whole thing now. That's a crazy memory. Blasted into my mind, I think it was 4th grade. There was like a shed at my elementary school, and the paint was peeling. So I was just kind of sitting there one day, and I was peeling the paint off. I got in trouble. I had to repaint the whole shed. That was anyway. That's kind of where that comes from. Is like children just like to pick at things. And one time, my cousin, my phone case, this little thing that covers the silent button. One day, my cousin, she was probably 8 years old, maybe even younger at the time. She was holding my phone and she just ripped that off. And I'm like, hey, what? Come on, man, don't do that. And she went, oh, I didn't do it. But anyway, so there's lots of experiences that make me believe that the kids were fiddling with it or something like that. Also, this woman in the video, extremely obnoxious, screaming, yelling, pointing her finger in the faces of people. I commented on. I love commenting on things like this. They need some truth, so I give it to them. And then everybody's telling me. One lady told me I should eat dogs, and then said something in another language that I can't figure out how to translate. One lady called me an incel, which I always thought was kind of like an incel would be somebody who is kind of like in the Matrix, I suppose, like kind of being controlled, I guess. Like they're given a script to speak, sort of thing. Apparently, it means involuntary celibacy. I'm happily engaged, so I don't, and not celibate. Forgive me, Lord. I don't know how I'm an incel. But anyway, that's how they respond. They just throw a bunch of insults and stupid stuff. So I return to that with factual information. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's really going to help anybody or anything, but I have fun with it. Well, it leads me to telling stories like this. But anyway, yeah, the psychosis of it all is just astronomical. And I think we'll kind of leave the political, well, I guess, I don't know, specifically political. I don't know how to explain that. We'll leave all what we've talked about back there, and we're going to move on. The final segment of the day, the hero of the week. This is a fellow we know and love, only hated because CNN told us to hate him. He's been in the spotlight for, since the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. And big time spotlight only in the last few years, well, 10 years or so. The great Donald J. Trump. Now, last episode was mostly about kind of fighting off Muslims and whatnot, and Donald Trump responded, not to my video, of course. I wish he saw this and went, oh, I need to say something. That'd be so freaking cool. Anyway, just great timing. But he said this, and I quote, This is an X post, by the way. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We shouldn't have been helping them anyway. And we may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast. It will be vicious. It will be sweet. Just like the terrorist thugs that attacked our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. Ooh. Boy, oh boy, I love somebody coming to the aid of Christians. The Jews we have talked about have been kind of a protected class for many, many years. The Muslims have been a protected class for many, many years. Hindu and Buddhist and whatever the other 400 million religions there are in the world on the planet. All of them are pretty much protected class. The one group that you can make fun of, the one group that you can slander and talk down to and verbally turn into the bad guy, that's Christians. Forever and always, we have been the butt of the joke. We have been persecuted. Our Bible told us we would be. Our Bible also told us that there will come other false prophets claiming to hear the word of God, a new word, and these are charlatans. They should be disgraced, not listened to, forgotten about. And I think, personally, I believe that was specifically referencing Muhammad. But anyway, that's for another episode. Donald J. Trump, for requesting assistance with a Christian genocide that for some reason people are saying is not a genocide because it doesn't meet the legal definition of a genocide. You have been awarded this week's, I should have brought a Diet Coke because I know you don't drink, but you have been awarded this week's Hero of the Week, the highest honor that we can offer here at What I Think I Know, because it is only me. Donald Trump, please accept your award, and hopefully someday, if I ever see you in person, I will give you a Diet Coke, and thank you very much. You're a beautiful person, doing a beautiful thing. You stated 2 weeks ago or so that you're not sure if you're getting into heaven. I think that's a beautiful thing. Being unsure of your acceptance into heaven is kind of the Christian way. If I'm the one making the calls, yeah, you're definitely in heaven. I pray to God every day that I get to meet you someday up in that great place. Hopefully not soon. I'd like that to be a long time from now. I love being here in life. I'll never kill myself. But I know there's a better place that we're all headed to. And all you got to do is accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and start living by His ways. We're all flawed people. We will make flaws again. We will screw up. That's a guarantee. It's one of the only guarantees as a person is you won't do it right. But anyway, Donald Trump, thank you so much for everything you do. And I will say this week was kind of a toss-up. So we've already got our Hero of the Week picked out for next week. Please, nobody in the meantime do anything heroic because I can't fit two in 1 week. If you do, I suppose we'll bump one to the next week. Anyway, I think that's the show. I might be forgetting something. I might be adding something in post. But you probably won't notice it because I've become a decent editor. I can't freaking post stuff on the YouTube for the life of me. But editing, I'm getting all right at. Anyway, thank you all for watching. That's it for the show today. God bless you. God bless America. and we'll see y'all next week. Take care.